What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. So what we're going to do here is I wanted to quickly show you 3 other cloud gaming services. I've seen these circulating a little bit, a few people talking about them. I was aware of them already, but they have not been worth having on the channel. So I figured I would make a video telling you why they're not on the channel and why I don't recommend any of these 3 services, because there are things like Shadow and Geforce Now that are very much like these, and both of those services are absolutely hands down better than these 3 services. So the first one I want to take a look at that I have brought up over here is Vortex. So this is Vortex Cloud Gaming. Now this is meant to be very, very similar to Geforce Now. So this involves downloading an app and using it similar to Geforce Now on your PC, your MacBook, or your Android device. So as we scroll down through here, they're telling you a lot about how best PC games at your fingertips with 1 subscription. You can see the recommended devices here. You know, they throw out your little bit of popular games here, which is fine. They're touting full HD with 60 FPS, so that would be on par with Geforce Now. Shadow, not so much. Shadow can do any resolution all the way up to 4K, 1440p, 240 hertz, 144. It doesn't matter. Shadow will do whatever. So that's a little different, but that's on par with Geforce Now. You can see here, not having to do updates, so just like Geforce Now as well. Games are already updated. Stadia does that also, but this isn't anything like Stadia. Stadia is totally different. Stadia is, as I always say, the console, the cloud console of console gaming. It acts like a console more than any of these other services, and it has a closed ecosystem and all that kind of stuff. So it's not really compared here, but Geforce Now would be very much like this. So it's here's where things completely fall apart. And I cannot recommend anybody try this. You need to stay away from Vortex, at least for now. So that full HD isn't even out yet. So we have the $9.99 US here. That's HD quality. So I'm guessing 720p. But on Android, Windows, Mac OS, 50 play hours per month, 83 games in the library. For perspective, right now, Geforce Now has over 2,000. In their library, and there's no play limit. Excuse me, there's no play limit. With the free version, I believe you have to requeue every hour, and I believe the Founders is every 6. However, I haven't been on it 6 hours straight to find out, but you just have to log out and log back in, and if you're a Founder, there's no waiting, so it's pretty quick. But 50 hours, that's it. Now going up to the Pro, the recommended is $20 a month. Still 720p, full HD is coming soon. Same Android, Windows, or Mac OS. 80 play hours per month, 182 games in the library. And just like Geforce Now, you have to own these on Epic, Steam, wherever they're supporting them here. But that's it, and that's the max amount of games, because now we jump over to Ultra. Still 720p, full HD coming soon. Play on the same devices. 140 hours per month, 182 games. So the only difference here for $10 more a month is the playtime, and not even double the playtime. I do not like playtime. I don't like when they break it down. You might have months that you don't play a lot. You might have months, though, a new game comes out, or more than one new game, or you have a couple weeks off vacation. You might just be trying to kill it. These prices are horrible, and the amount of games that are available at 182 for that price are horrible. So I didn't bother signing up for this. I don't want to pay for it, and I don't want to test it on the channel, and I don't recommend anybody really bother with it unless you just had no other choice for whatever reason. So that's why I'm not gonna pay for it, not gonna download it, not gonna test games, because it's really just not worth it. I'd rather warn you to, if you hear about Vortex, unless they do a lot of things to change the service, go Geforce Now. There's no reason to pick Vortex that I know of over that. So let's jump over to the next thing. So this is more of a Shadow PC competitor. This is Paperspace. Now, Paperspace requires a couple of things. So 60 FPS cloud gaming, and this is done with Paperspace being the PC and the streaming being through Parsec. So when you build a PC, it will have Parsec included, and you'll see that right here. Build a Paperspace computer with Parsec installed. So they supply the computer, Parsec supplies the software to stream. Now, I already didn't like that. Shadow provides everything. It's an all-in-one, and I know some people have had their issues with Shadow, but I haven't. I have 2 Shadow accounts. Always works great. I rarely have any problem with Shadow. It varies from device to device. I did have an older computer that it just was almost always unplayable on, so I do know there are things with devices that affect the service as well, not just the internet. But that Shadow definitely already had it beat there. Now, when you get into the pricing and the packages, you've got basically this is a GPU Plus, which is a P4000, which I believe puts you near 970, and then you got the P5000 and 6000, and then you've got the hourly prices right here. So let me bring us over to the pricing. So this GPU Plus should be your basically a P4000. It's very much what it's supposed to be, and if I remember right, that is close to a 970. You can correct me in the comments if I'm off on that. The P5000 is very close to a 1080 Ti. However, it doesn't beat my RTX 2060 in most games. I've tested that on the channel. But that P5000, that's what Shadow gives you for the $14.99 a month with an 8-core CPU, or a 4-core 8-thread CPU, which I believe is what's going on here. The 30 gigs of RAM is higher, and the 16 gigs of GPU, that's the same because the P5000, that's what Shadow has. You get 12 gigs of RAM with Shadow. But here's the thing. These are all hourly. So if you played 2 to 4 hours a day, you're going to be like 60, 80 bucks a month to that, plus $5 a month storage fee. So you're paying $5 a month no matter what, and then you're paying per hour, and I don't like that. And if you want to step up to like a P6000, $1.10 per hour. I mean, like when Assassin's Creed Odyssey came out, I just dumped a ton of time in that, and I think, like the first month, I had like 80 hours in there. I mean, I would not want to pay. I'm going to pay more to access my game than I paid for the game. So Shadow just destroys this. You click the monthly, and I don't even know if this can be real. Like, this is insane. So this gives you a lower per hour rate, but the monthly charge is insane for unlimited. Absolutely insane. They take away the $5 storage fee. But so this is a reason why I was going to sign up for Paperspace and compare it to Shadow. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to get invested in that. I'm not going to spend that, and I'm not going to recommend it to anybody. So I'm not going to sign up for services and test them on the channel if I already know they're horrible. If I already know they're not going to be near competitive enough to another service I'm trying, I'd rather make a video just showing you what it is and get past it and let you know, maybe look at that down the road, skip on it for now. Now, like I said, you need Parsec. So Parsec, if you're not familiar, is very similar to Rainway. It's a software that's used to connect to a PC and stream to a device or another PC. You don't have to pay for this. This is part of your Paperspace build, your subscription, whatever there. But you do have to use Parsec to access your Paperspace. I also didn't like that. Shadow's got it beat big time with pricing. And if you sign up for a year, Shadow's $11.99. You can be on it all day if you want. There's no limit. If there's no activity for 30 minutes, it shuts you down and you got to log back on. But there's no time limit or anything like that. And even with extra storage for $3 a month, you can still be at $15 a month and just be destroying it. So that's another one to stay away from. So Vortex we want to stay away from. And Paperspace with Parsec, I definitely don't recommend. Go Shadow, go Geforce now. They're going to do you a lot better. So the final one we're going to look at is Boosteroid. Now, I did sign up for this one because I was curious to try the in-browser gameplay. Now, for me, I've tried this for a few days before I made this video just to be sure, and for me here on the East Coast of the United States, whether it has to do with server locations or whatever, this service is just absolutely horrible, and another one that I would have to say stay away from. Now, the idea, though, that you're accessing these games in the browser is actually pretty cool. So let me actually move us over to full screen, and I want to show you this service a little closer since I did pay for it, and since this is the closest one of the three to actually compete with Geforce now, it just might depend on where you live that maybe you would get a better experience than me. So let's jump to full screen. Okay, so we're in here at full screen. So this is Boosteroid. It is considered to be in beta. This is $10 a month. I paid $25 for 3 months just so I could mess around with it a little bit. They're supposed to be adding servers, see if it changes, and update you guys along the way, because this is the closest service to something I could say, okay, maybe. There's a ton of potential here because it runs in browsers. You can even bring it up in Safari on your iOS, I believe it is, Safari. And run this. This is run in browsers, just like Stadia, but the difference is it's working in a lot more browsers. Chrome-based, so like Edge and Chrome it works in, and Opera-based, and I believe that's Safari. So now they even have Warzone in here and some games that Geforce Now doesn't have, but here's the thing. This service is still in beta, right? It's just now getting attention, and a lot more people are kind of finding out about it and wanting to check it out. So my guess is, since so many games were removed from Geforce Now when it came out of beta that a lot of companies didn't have a problem with before, like Warzone was going to be there, all the Call of Duties were there, 2K games, a lot of stuff. You know the story with Geforce Now most likely. Either before this leaves beta or when it leaves beta, I highly anticipate a game exodus just like Geforce Now. If Activision Blizzard or 2K or Bethesda or anybody had issue with their game being accessible on Geforce Now, then they're going to have a problem with it being accessible on Boosteroid. I don't see that they wouldn't unless Boosteroid has figured something out with these companies already somehow and got it straight. But you can see the little icons here, Steam, Blizzard, whatever the case, whatever is supported, Rockstar. So you got to own the games just like Geforce Now with those Origin, which I do like the Origin is on there. I wish Geforce Now would get Origin added and get some EA going. So Apex Legends, there's games here that you won't see on Geforce Now, but I still really Sea of Thieves. I'm on Steam. I just think that this service is going to lose a lot of games. But here's the other thing. For the price, I would still go with Geforce Now. It's more fleshed out. It has ray tracing available, which I think is great, especially the new consoles and more games are going to have ray tracing. I highly recommend Geforce Now over Boosteroid, definitely over Vortex, and Shadow over Paperspace and Parsec. But I'm going to go ahead and open up so you can see Warzone. Now, what we should get is this little pop-up. Get out of here. What we should get is this little pop-up. That's not happening. Sometimes you got to reload into it. This system through the browsers really isn't great yet. So here we go. I don't have any issues with Geforce Now. Always working great. Definitely have had a lot of issues trying to get this to work. So let's try again now that we reloaded the page. There we go. So please do not change game settings during the streaming session. So Geforce Now also doesn't want you to change settings, and when you leave a game and go back in, those settings will be changed back to the default. Geforce Now has specific settings for every game. Now you can go in and turn RTX on or off. That's fine if the game has that option, but for the most part, you can't do much with those settings. So same thing here. And it says, due to a large number of users, optimal settings are provided automatically. If you change these settings, change these optimal settings, you are likely to face a bad gaming experience. Yep, I tried it. Don't worry, soon we are going to launch new servers in your region. So that's why I have this for 3 months, to kind of keep an eye on it, because I want to give it another review. I want to give this another chance. But right now, it's no good, especially for me. I'm on the East Coast of the U.S., if that helps. If someone's using this somewhere else and it's working fantastic, fine. For me, it's not. So it's going to log into my Blizzard account. This is very, very similar to Geforce Now. If you've used Geforce Now, you recognize this. The only difference is when you come into a launcher, you've got to launch the game. It doesn't automatically do it for you. So we click once, we click twice. Now we can do F11, and we can go into full screen. Well, it doesn't always work. That's the other thing. The full screen back and forth has not always worked for me on here. But that's all right. We're still. It's not going to matter, full screen or not. I'm just going to show you what happens with the settings, where they have it at, and what it looks like when we get in here. Now, the controller support works just fine. So my Xbox controller is connected. That's just fine. Also, I've had to do any game. I've had to completely go in and do this again. Every time. It doesn't seem to save what's going on. I mean, it's like booting up the game for the first time every time. That poor connection will pop in and out, but that's definitely not on my end. Okay, so we're in here. We still can't go full screen. I could probably reload this and get full screen, but we're just gonna it works sometimes, it doesn't work other times. Options. Let's just go into graphics here. Now this is what it sets it at every time. This is what you're running here. Screen refresh 60, resolution 66. It will reset to this every single time, and if you change it, the stream is really horrible, even if the connection is good. So I know this has to do with them saying in the beginning that they're going to be adding servers and whatnot. That's why I want to give the service another chance down the road. But right now, especially if you're in the US, or at least over on my side, just don't worry. Don't spend any money on the service. And then here you've got high for texture and low for everything else. Disabled on bullet impacts and tessellation. We've got our shadows because we've got the RAM. Particle lighting low. No ray tracing. No ambient occlusion. No screen space reflections. And if you turn any of these on, it's done. It's garbage from there, and it's not good. Strict always on the nat type, at least on Shadow and Geforce Now, or when it was available on Geforce Now, I got moderate. So this has been a horrible experience. And also the input lag, like from the controller when you're playing, it literally feels like almost like a full second sometimes. It's not great. And I'm not even going to launch this into a match. You can see from the resolution here. You can see from what I showed you in the settings and what their warnings were and everything here. It doesn't run very well. It's very unplayable for me. The resolution's horrible, especially on this 1440p monitor. And I just can't recommend messing with this. So, all right, guys, so that's going to do it for the video today. I hope that was somewhat useful. Like I said, Paperspace and Parsec, go Shadow instead if you can. Vortex, just steer clear completely. Those prices are insane. So are the prices on Paperspace. Boosteroid, if somebody's, like I said, if somebody's got it running great, good, let me know in the comments below. For me, any game I've tried just been absolutely horrible, unplayable. But I don't know where the servers are at. I don't know what all is going on with that. So definitely we'll keep you updated on this. But go Shadow, go Geforce Now. Stick with those services over these for sure. So thanks a lot for coming to check out the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Give this video a thumbs up. Ring the bell so you know when I drop new videos. And definitely leave me your comment down below. Thanks a lot, and I'll catch you in the next one.